Get ready to have your mind blown with 10 unbelievably unique animals. From fascinating creatures with incredible adaptations to jaw-dropping features you won't believe exist, this video is a must-watch for all animal lovers. Don't miss out on this mind-blowing journey. Hit that subscribe button now and join us for more. Even in the 21st century, with all continents discovered, nature still has incredible surprises in store for us. No matter how much we learn about our planet and conquer mountains, nature always finds a way to amaze us. Just when you think you've seen it all, a new and wacky creature appears, making you believe in the magic of the world. Get ready to meet 10 strange animals that you've probably never heard of or seen before. And wait until you see the mind-blowing bonus at the end. Let's start with number 10, mangas, a pig that's also known as a pig in sheep's clothing. This curly-haired pig was first discovered in Hungary in the mid-19th century. Its fleece covering makes it look just like a fluffy sheep. That's why it's called mangas. Their fleece can be black or red, but these adorable creatures are usually blonde. Believe it or not, this is the only pig left with such an incredible winter coat. Sadly, by the 1990s, there were less than 200 mangas pigs left in Hungary. They were almost extinct, all because people loved their delicious lard so much. Luckily, manga Lisa's future is much brighter now. Let's move on to number 9. Rhinopithecus, also known as the golden snub-nosed monkey. This species is named Roxana, and there's an interesting story behind it. Legend has it that they were named after the snub-nosed courtesans in the courts of Suleiman, the magnificent sultan of the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century. Here's something interesting: male monkeys are twice as heavy as females and have a different color. The girls have darker, or even black tones on their forehead and upper parts. And guess what? The baby monkeys have a really light coat. It can even look white in the sunlight. Now let's meet number 8, the emperor tamarin. This little guy looks just like a real emperor, or a wise old man with his fabulous mustache. They were actually named after the mustache of the German Emperor Wilhelm, because they resemble it. And here's something fascinating. Despite being only about 10 inches, or 26 centimeters in size, their tail can be as long as 16 inches or 40 centimeters. Emperor tamarins live in groups of 4 to 20 animals, and they often give birth twice. What's really cool is that other family members help take care of the babies. And guess what? Tamarins aren't completely vegetarian. Besides flowers, nectar, and fruit, they can also feast on frogs, snails, and even small birds. Now let's move on to number 7, the Patagonian mara. If you think this animal is a mix between a kangaroo and a hare, think again. The Patagonian mara is actually the 4th largest rodent on our planet. Here are some interesting facts about them. Female tamarins often put their babies into creches for safety. And guess what? Males help guard their babies. They make grunting sounds when they try to threaten, and they also squeal like guinea pigs. If you startle them, these animals can leap up to 6 feet, or 182 centimeters in the air. As for their character, they can be quite flighty. They have a tendency to be easily startled or nervous. Let's move on to number 6, the fluffy cow. These big plush toys have some interesting secrets surrounding them. First of all, they are not a new breed. These lovely cows actually belong to breeds that are already known. The special thing about them is that they are taken care of by people whose job is to wash, dry, and use products to style the animals. That's why they look so fluffy. What's even more interesting is that these cows need daily maintenance. and it takes months of regular grooming to achieve their lovely toy-like look. This grooming is mostly done for shows, and it typically takes about 2 hours to get them ready before a performance. They use hairsprays to fix their fuzz and apply natural oils to make their fur look shiny. Now let's talk about number 5, the Mako goat. If you see a creature that looks like it's trying to catch an alien radio signal from space, it's most likely a Mako goat. They can grow as long as 6 feet, or 180 centimeters from head to tail. What's even more shocking is that their horns can grow up to 5.2 feet, or 1.6 meters long. But here's an interesting fact: this is true only for males. They use their horns for fighting during the mating season. On the other hand, female horns only grow up to 10 inches, or 25 centimeters long. These animals are strict vegans, if we can say so. They eat leaves, grass, fruit, and flowers. Now let's move on to number 4, the raccoon dog. If you can't decide if you want to have a dog or a raccoon as a pet, we have just the thing for you. A raccoon dog, despite having raccoon-like markings on their fur, is not very closely related to the North American raccoon. Their much closer relatives are domesticated dogs. But let's talk about wolves and foxes. Raccoon dogs are monogamous, which means they mate for life. A pair of them works together to raise and bring up their kids. When the female is pregnant, the partner brings food for her and flowers, but nobody has actually seen it. So, it might not be true, but raccoon dogs are unique creatures. Raccoon dogs are the only mammals of the dog family that go into short periods of hibernation. And what's even more amazing, they choose to bed down in pairs. Their voices are just so cute. Now let's move on to number 3, the blue-footed booby. These charismatic birds are sure to catch your eye if you ever visit the Galapagos Islands. They can look a bit clumsy and comical on land, but they are excellent at flying and swimming. The blue-footed boobies have funny and complicated mating rituals to attract a female. The males perform a dance with high stepping, stamping their feet, and sky pointing. They also raise their bill up into the air and make high-pitched whistling sounds. If a female is impressed enough, she may come up to the male, touch him with her bill, and join the dance. And you know what? The blue feet of the blue-footed boobies have an actual scientific explanation. The blue color of their feet comes from the bird's fish diet and indicates their healthy immune system. Now let's talk about number 2, the Milan KGO. These eyes probably see a lot and seem to find everything surprising. But guess what? It's not actually a flying lemur, even though it's sometimes called that. And it doesn't fly either. Yeah, this happens all the time. The name calling went wrong with this one. So why such a name? Kalu has a large gliding membrane like a flying squirrel, and they can glide for long distances between trees that are far apart. Now let's talk about number 1, the Venezuelan poodle moth. The paradox with these small animals, which typically weigh between 2.5 to 4.5 pounds or 1 to 2 kilograms, is that even though they live in trees, they are awkward climbers and not very strong. It must be a hard life for them. This moth was only discovered in 2009. And doesn't it look like a furry poodle? You know, mammals need hairs to keep their body heat, but insects like the poodle moth are cold-blooded. And even though the poodle moth may look like it lives in Antarctica with all that fur, it actually comes from Venezuela, a tropical country. The hairs of the poodle moth don't serve for heating. Most insects have hairs for protection or smelling and sensing the environment. Maybe it's true for the poodle moth too. But since it's a very new discovery, Not much is known about this insect yet. So, is it cuddly? We can only guess, but the chances are high that it's not as cuddly as you wish it were. And here's our incredible bonus, the cloud antelope. This species lives in the clouds, and that's why it has such a name. Its bright blue fur reflects the color of cloudless blue skies in its habitat area. And you won't believe it, but its diet consists of sun rays and candies. But here's the thing, it's not actually a real living creature. It's a fantastic toy made by C.M. Verne. But hey, can we just dream about it being an actual living creature for a little bit? Let our imagination soar.